Afternoon to members of the media. I think it's only befitting that we start with words of condolences to Luke Fleurs' family and the bereaved, of course, the family of Kaiser Chiefs, the family of SuperSport United as the ones that really invested a lot in his development as a footballer. It's very sad that a young life can come to such an abrupt end with so much potential. And I think it's a major loss for the South African football fraternity. And so we, as Mamelodi Sundowns, on behalf of the players, the technical team, our supporters, we'd like to extend our heartfelt condolences and well wishes to the family and everybody that is affected by the loss, and may his soul rest in peace. I think that's only befitting that we start. Sorry, team. Now we're looking forward to what will be a very interesting game. I did say to you guys that Yanga are a very good side. You can see with the results and their performances in the domestic competitions, and also, of course, in the CAF competitions. Last season they were in the Confederations Cup final. This season they've qualified from what was a very difficult group with some very experienced teams, especially a team like Belouizdad that is out, and they qualify ahead of them. The trips to, of course, Mediamo difficult, trip to Cairo with Al-Ahly difficult, and they came through unscathed. So good coach in Coach Miguel Gamondi, some good players in the team with a lot of experience from not just Tanzania but also from some reputable African countries like Aziz from Burkina Faso. So we expect a difficult game tomorrow, but of course one that we are ready for.
Thank you, Coach.
I think that's where the game is tomorrow. We've got to find holes. It's not easy against a reinforced defensive block. It's becoming a theme a little bit more now. Deep lying blocks, very limited space in between the lines, very limited space behind. Fortunately, we've done some very good analysis. The players understand where the game is. And you watch all these games now. Even yesterday I watched Pirates Swallows. One is trying to make a game out of it. The other one is sitting off. Aston Villa, Manchester City, same sort of pictures. Our game against Richards Bay, same sort of pictures. But fortunately, I think Yanga have moments where they look to try to play from the back. They've got some very good defenders in Dixon and in Job, and they look to play a little bit from the back, Ibrahim. And then, of course, if Awucho plays, you know that he links up the play in the midfield very, very well. And then, of course, up front, they've got some very, very good players with speed, like Musonda, who they put coming from the left as an inverted striker, close to Msize. And then Aziz as a 10, and then the possibilities of Motadiri, the 27, in the 8, and with Maxi, who played a little bit more of a different role against us in the first leg, to buffer a little bit the right channel. But of course, let's see how it goes tomorrow. We've done our analysis. The players understand the details, and these are the type of games that are won on details. Small details shift or push the game either towards you or away from you. So we've got to be ready for that. And then, as you say, this is probably the biggest lesson of CAF Champions League games, is that you can't get too comfortable being comfortable, because the moment you're comfortable, you are more vulnerable, actually, And away from home with the score at 0-0, the potential of a counter-attack can spin the narrative of the game. And so we've got to be very careful while we are in possession, and we've got to be very careful when we feel comfortable, and try to understand the context of the game completely. But we've been in this situation before, and hopefully that's the experience we can use. We've been in this situation where we've had a first leg 0-0, and we understand what happens. You just think about the semi-final last season against Wydad. We went away into Morocco were to come here and get a result, and unfortunately it was 2-2. And that experience helped us in the MTN8 when we played Chiefs. It helped us even in the AFL final when we lost to Wydad, the very same Wydad in the first leg of the final 2-1, and we didn't have any advantage except an away goal. But of course, a 0-0 draw is not like a 2-1 defeat. And so in that moment, we have to dig into that little bit of experience and try to understand the context of the game and what every goal, both for us and for them, means for the encounter. Very important, Lawrence. And I think that's why even in my post-match interview, I spoke to the supporters, because tomorrow they have to play, and I asked them to play the way they played against Al Ahly. You know, in the AFL against Al Ahly, we won that game because of our fans, and not for any moment during the 90 minutes were they quiet. And the drum kept beating and beating and beating and beating and beating. And I honestly believe that tomorrow, if they come out in the numbers, they fill the stadium and they make it yellow, they make the opposition uncomfortable throughout, and even in the moments where we are suffering, they can't suffer with us. They've got to energize us and push us and give us that extra push. And sometimes that's where we have it with the Sundowns fans, to be honest, and the Yellow Nation, is when we suffer, they suffer. They can't suffer with us tomorrow. They've got to come and they've got to energize us and push us. And I think if that can happen tomorrow, we've got a big advantage, because when Loftus is buzzing, when the Yellow Nation is singing and with the energy that they are able to give us, then the players just go and perform. And this is what you need in the Champions League. You know, you have to take advantage of your home ground, and that advantage is not just about the playing surface. It's not just about the comfort of being at home. It's actually about the supporters making the stadium a cathedral. You know, a place of worship. And tomorrow they've got to worship the team. They've got to support the team and energize the team. And really, in that moment, I think if they do that, we should be all right. Mr. Madiwa, I agree, but I don't think I've got a lot of motivation to do. If the players cannot find energy to play these type of games, to play for their support, we play for the Yellow Nation. We play for our supporters. We live for them. We sleep for them. The 2 hours, 3 hours that we try to get sleep is because we try to find hours to invest and work and make sure the team is ready so that they can be proud of the team. So I think the players understand the mandate, the experience is there, the quality is there, and also one of the experiences we don't mention is the AFCON experience, and that experience also comes in very handy. And for sure, the players, I'm sure, will dig deep into that and produce something very similar. It is what it is. I can't. Complaining is not going to help. So we have to play the games. We have to win the games. And the players understand this. I understand this. The club understands this. I would love to see more support when we play these type of games, for sure. I was listening to Ryan Giggs' podcast. He did an interview once, and he says sometimes, and he thinks that's probably one of what led to the demise of Manchester United, is that the hero worshipped winning Carabao Cup and all these other competitions, and they forgot that big teams in every nation have to win the league title, the domestic league title. That's the number one prize for all the teams in La Liga, in the Bundesliga. It's a catastrophe when Bayern don't win. They can win the Champions League, but not win the Bundesliga. It's a big catastrophe. And so I just think that sometimes we undermine the importance of the DStv Premiership, and that I think is probably something that we have to change, is a mentality. And because we've won it 6 times in a row, sometimes we have this feeling that it's one of those. You know what I mean? It's like one. But it's the biggest competition with the biggest number of games, the highest amount of prestige in your league, you know, in your nation. So the only thing I would love to really improve is these home games. We we need a lot more. We need a lot more noise. We need a lot more of the Yellow Nation. And I honestly think that players deserve that. The type of football we play, I think, deserves a lot more bums on the seats and a lot more encouragement and support, because it is a difficult period for the club. But it's a period that we've all got to enjoy together. The players must enjoy it. The technical team must enjoy it. But what's the point of enjoying it without our people? The disappointment last season was when we won the league title. We had celebrations here, and we couldn't even fill the stadium, and the people couldn't be here to celebrate and enjoy the moment with us. And you never know when your last league title is going to be. And so every single one, you've got to celebrate it as if it's your last. And I always say, even to the players, empires don't collapse, they dilapidate bit by bit. And sometimes the dilapidation comes when there's a lack of appreciation, or there's a crack on the window, and the house is still standing, so let's go. But you've got to renovate that window, renovate the crack on the door, on the wall, and a little bit, and not just cover it up with tape and no. That's when that crack leads to a broken window, it leads to air coming in, the ceiling starts breaking down, water starts dropping, and then you start having puddles of water on your carpet, and then all of a sudden this beautiful empire is collapsed, poof, onto the ground. And you ask yourself what led to it. But it was a small crack that happened. And this is where we have to stay as a football club. Take nothing for granted. Everything, every match, every opportunity to win a trophy, a silverware, and it doesn't matter these situations, and against every team, we go full throttle and show respect, humility, and appreciation for the efforts, and not just the efforts of the players, but of the club, the investment, and if we can do that, I think for sure we'll be all right. My space is the Sundown supporters must do more. They have to do more. We need them in this closing part of the season more than we ever have.